And the game that we be playing out, of course, is the wonderful world of Dota 2. We have 3 best of ones coming your way this evening, and we'll be starting off with Team Liquid going up against Fnatic. Also underrated, we'll be playing out later on this evening. So that is the full matchups coming out for our teams. Liquid and Fnatic are both there live in Korea, and we'll be hooked in, giving you your English live stream right here from Germany. So, Liquid, dire side to start with. Fnatic over on the Radiant side. Decent amount coming up as far as what's at stake for this matchup. You will be looking at, well, a lot of money. There's a lot of money coming up here. Big thanks as well to Nexon for putting up the money, as well for OGN, who said, you know what, come on down, Toby. Come and cast this one. Both live for the 3rd weekend from your studio for the 1st, 2nd, and 4th week. But the way all of this will unfold is we look for a 4-0 record. If one of these teams is capable of getting 4-0, that's taking 4 wins out of their 4 best-of-1 matches they will play, they will take home $15,000 USD. They lose 1 game, and basically then you're looking at, well, $10,000. You lose 2 games, you're looking at 7. You lose 3 games, you're looking at 5. You lose all 4, and you're looking at absolutely nothing. You will claim no money whatsoever from it. And that's the way, it's the way it all goes down, boys. So, we start off our draft. We will take out Lich as well as Lifestealer by TC, Batrider as well as Elder Titan there from Fly. And, well, interestingly enough, well, I'm not going to say the meta is changing, because now they're in Korea, but still, Lich, Batrider, definite bans up. The Lifestealer as well as the Elder Titan. I know the Lifestealer still appears a lot in the bans over here in Europe, but Elder Titan's starting to phase out a little bit more, but it is one of the favorites of, well, I suppose it's a favorite of almost everybody, but it is a favor of Bulba on that, for him. He's just enjoyed every single lane he's played with that one. And then Liquid, they actually go with a Clockwork as well as Visage. So we get our off-lane players, possibly mid-solo as well. Koitvar, of course, the new German added to the All-American lineup of Liquid, will be taking up that role as the Clockwork more than likely for the off-lane. And then you got the Visage, so we can go to the Micro Master Fluff and stuff, or maybe even Way 2. We'll see how they want to approach that one. Then we get Fnatic, who have Naga Siren already up and running. So there's your first supporter coming out from Fnatic. There's no way you can turn down the sleep. There really is just no way you can turn down the sleep option. So, yeah, good to see Fnatic. I'd say good to see Fnatic sticking to their guns. I can't really say that though, can I?
I speak for the trees.
Really can't say that, but still.
Fnatic's turn to ban.
We're gonna get ourselves in with a Nature's Prophet. So one of Trixie's favorite heroes likes to go off lane for this kind of stuff. Also, guys, I'm working to patch through the live stream. Unfortunately, I can't keep this damn thing full screen, so I might have to go a little bit of choppy on this, and which isn't the way I wanted to do this, but I might have to do it anyway. Just as the only way I can patch it through. In fact, let's just switch over right now. We're gonna go to a blank screen as I add this in.
5 seconds remaining.
Took a while to get a couple of things sorted. Obviously, this is actually the first time that OGN has worked with an offshore English broadcaster. There we go. There we go. See, told you we could patch this kind of stuff in. So yeah, Fnatic and Liquid on your screens. I'll try and hook in between this and my perspective. When we get ourselves into the game, we'll go into my perspective. But this is the perspective from the on-game net stream. It's also available over on the YouTube. But if you want to watch it here on Twitch, I'll hot link it in all for you.
10 seconds remaining.
So far, Nature's Prophet. We've got Clockwork there as well. The Pugna being banned out by TC. Obviously, I realized too the Korean stream's a little bit further behind ours. So I'll just jump it over when they do their camera perspectives. But we'll have Luna and Mirana both banned out by Fly. So Luna, she's the hero I was expecting to be banned out in the early stage. Luna, ever since the change up on that top lane, like, it's actually something which is amazing for both the off-laners now, where you could run this Luna and you have it coupled up with someone like a Visage, so you get Grave Chill, you get a lot of bonus damage coming out from Luna's aura in the early stages of the game, so you can harass heroes off the lane. And that's kind of like the beauty of it. It's kind of the beauty of it.
Reserve time.
Alright, so TC. Now for him, we're going to have our next ban out, and well, he's already taken out the Pugna. So he's fearing a little bit of push coming out from the Fnatic lineup. But at the same time, okay, we're going to have ourselves a farming game, peoples. The Anti-Mage comes up from Liquid. So they ban out the Alchemist. They want to win it on the farm outright. And Fly, well, he's not normally fazed by this kind of stuff. He knows Era can farm up anyway with any kind of hero. Era just prefer Alchemist, but TC's just trying to win this in late game by the looks of it. And Fnatic have the choice right now. Either they go balls deep and just try and over-push this, and that means really just push down every single lane as quickly as you possibly can. Even if it means putting the Prophet into a support role or putting it into the middle lane. Harney's taken that before, and they give something like a Lone Druid to Trixie, who does play a really mean Lone Druid as well. That could be their other option right here. And Fly, third pickup. It's actually going to be a Wisp. Now, with the changes that happened to Wisp, he's basically become, I'm not going to say a nothing hero, but no one is picking or even banning him in the EU scene right now. So to actually pick up a Wisp like this, it's got to be full-out aggression from Fnatic. It's got to be full-out aggression. And I'm talking the fact they have to run with an extra stunner. They must run with a stunner here. That means they run a CK in their lineup. They have a big stun that way, or they run a tiny. These are the two options which I see for Fnatic right now. If they try and run anything else, then you're going to see Liquid just bouncing away from them. Their global presence is already pretty good with the Nature's Prophet. Maybe if they get themselves another one as well. Like, you could just leave Trixie on that Nature's Prophet on the top lane. Then you can put Wisp, Naga, maybe Wisp to babysit up on that top lane as well. But I'm really feeling Harney on that Prophet. I'm really feeling Harney on that Prophet from Fnatic. Liquid. They're going to go for their fourth pickup now. We need one support and one core left from them. They've already got their hard farmers, the number one position, the Anti-Mage. Clockwork can play 2 or 3 position, which is either your mid or your off-lane position. And then the Visage just couples with anybody, be it off-lane or be it safe lane. No problems with that whatsoever. I also want to give a big shout out to everyone who's managed to find the channel here. Thank you very much for joining us here on the live stream. Of course, we are on the On-Game Net live stream. I don't know if you're from the League of Legends community, because I know a lot of League of Legends is streamed out on this channel. It's got 76,000 followers, so I'm pretty sure this channel gets used a hell of a lot. But it's a nice welcoming you to our wonderful world of Dota 2. If you are tuning in from Southeast Asia, or be it Korea, or anywhere around the world, welcome. Greetings. I'm Toby1. Crystal Maiden will be the pickup. So Fluff and stuff, he'll get that Crystal Maiden, which means Way Too Sexy will take up the Visage in this game. So Crystal Maiden, one of Fluff and stuff's signature heroes. He was one of the ones that believed in Crystal Maiden very early on, even with a low movement speed. There's a tiny I was expecting from Fnatic. But yeah, even with the very low movement speed of a Crystal Maiden, before she got her massive buff ups, Fluff and stuff he still said Crystal Maiden is a viable hero. And now she's even more viable. The buff to her aura, and you already know how far she can farm up inside the jungle. Also a great hero when you're going up against heroes like an Enchantress, for example, because then you put out the Frostbite out in the creep, and basically level 1 Frostbite can almost destroy, if not, actually almost does fully destroy one of the Enchantress creeps. Fly, okay, so we've got Prophet, I'm still interested in their lanes. Is it going to be a top lane? Puck will be the final ban out by TC. So he's not feeling the same thing I'm feeling with the Nature's Prophet. He thinks it's going to be Trixie, which means we're still looking for Harneys here in the middle lane. And Prophet would have been one step to that. Timbersaur's going to be banned out by Fly, so he's just looking to avoid the big tanky guys, which probably means he's looking at a Queen of Pain for the middle lane for Harney. We still have to wait for Liquid's last hero for the solo mid. We don't know what both teams are going to be picking up here. If you pick up the Quap, then you can probably just answer straight back again with an OD. But I don't know if when you go with a pushing kind of style, actually, you don't need a mid hero which is capable of pushing when you have a hero like a Tiny and a Wisp combo, because it's a global ganking combination which does a lot of quick burst damage. But more importantly, when Tiny gets his Aghanim Scepter up, he still needs a little bit of attack speed with it. So we're talking about like
reserve time.
Words searching for coming is
5
going to be
seconds remaining.
Yasha. Attack speed is what you're searching for with the Tiny. Once he picks up that tree, you're all good to go. Yeah, I think TC feels it too. He picks up the Dragon Knight, one of the greatest heroes you could possibly get up against Queen of Pain. You got a level of control, you got burst damage of your own, but more importantly, you got the Dragon's Blood, which lets you regenerate over time and increases your armor as that mid-solo DK. So one of the good ones to stand up against the Queen of Pain. Obviously, with the bottle nerf, DK's not as great. DK's one of those heroes in the middle lane, which once you get your bottle, then you can start spamming your breathe fire, and it's very difficult to deny someone who's got that kind of burst damage against you. So he has to be a little bit more careful about that. But 3 minutes, the courier flies, so it's okay. And we will get the Queen of Pain up from Fnatic. So they go with what is to be expected and what they initially planned, and we'll jump ourselves into the game and get ourselves started here. And Bulba, he will be that DK in the middle lane. Koitva will be the off-lane Clockwork, which puts TC onto the anti-mage. Way too sexy is the... Ooh, hello. So Fluff and stuff... My initial thought was the Fluff and stuff would take up that role as the Crystal Maiden, just because it's his style hero. But at the same time, the first thing I said was like, Fluff is going to be on that Visage, not way too sexy. But maybe they'll switch themselves around or not, but yeah. Notel will take up the Wisp, so support for him. Trixie is that off-lane Prophet. Honey, Queen of Pain, solo mid. Era will be the Tiny. They could run the Tiny and the Wisp up on the top lane, which puts Nature's Prophet on the bottom lane with Fly pulling as the Naga Siren.
10 seconds remaining.
There's enough options. There's enough options out there. All right, so game time.
Prepare for battle.
Going to clean up a little bit here. Fantastic. Looks like I will have to stop a couple of things over on the side. There's your Korean stage for you. It's gonna shut down a couple of extra things which are clogging up the computer. All right, let's get ourselves into the game, peoples, because it's already started up. So heading down to your bottom lane, you got Koitva. He'll be as the role as that Clockwork, and do we have the matchup up against him? It will be Hani, in fact. Now, this is something which Fnatic really do enjoy doing. They like just thinking a little bit more outside of the box here and running that Queen of Pain as a solo on the bottom lane. It really gives you a very, very strong lane and a very easy rotation as well. So it's a nice way of approaching your laning, because it means that off lane which you're expecting like the Clockwork, it's going to have some real issues down here. He can't block up the camps like he used to anymore, or block up the creep wave like he used to. So he's got to be a little bit more active in the lane, and that's why Hani's just like, that's fine. We just go one-on-one and then assemble an aggressive tri-lane on top. So they use the Naga and the Wisp up here on the top lane. First rune's going to spawn down on the bottom, so Hani's... Oh, wow, you couldn't have asked for a better rune. When you walk around with a DD rune down there as well, you're loving life. So he'll go up against Koitva with the DD rune at the very, very start. This is that block in from Koitva. He's trying to hold the creep wave up. He's going to be successful here. He holds 3 in and then going to block him in. Nice little play from Koitva. Be expected as well. And we do get a change up in our lanes. Obviously, with the quad heading down towards the bottom lane, you're now going to have a Wisp Tiny combination in the mid. So they don't run the aggressive tri-lane up on top. They keep Trixie up here. And he's managed to pull in some good experience for himself as well. And Bulba's getting zoned out. Like, it's a Wisp and a Tiny up against him. He doesn't know if... Well, yeah, actually, no. He doesn't know if there's Avalanche or Toss currently up on Era. Normally, you'd want to go for the Avalanche, especially when you don't have that tether stun anymore. So you got to try and balance yourself out with that one. But once Tiny hits his level 2, is he thinking about running around the corner? No, it's just getting Notel in range so he can, well, physically attack on the Bulba. But that's such a dangerous lane for Bulba. But he's managed to find his farm. So he's munched through his tangos. He's already used one of his shared tangos, but he's got himself a bottle. So if he wants to purchase that up right now, he can do so. But he's focusing on his last hits for the moment. And yeah, there we go. Bottle purchase now coming out in the Walking Courier. Denied. And they'll just keep battling it out in the middle. All about the CS. And here is all about the movement. So Boots coming out first. Interested to see if he's going to go the phase Boots. Or because you do use a Wisp, having Arcane Boots isn't a bad option. That way you get not only your Tether spam, but also your Ball spam, your Spirit spam. You can spam both these out. And Tiny's mana pool has always been rather low. We'll just have to, yeah, Watch it closely. While up on top lane, TC being as aggressive as he possibly can against Trixie. Rather difficult to do when you dive under a tier 1 tower. And Trixie, you're 2 minutes in, he's already got 3.5 levels. This is insanely problematic. Insanely problematic. Koifa's going to be heading down towards the bottom lane. And, yeah. So the guy, the on-game net, I wonder if he will turn subscribers off. I kind of hope he will. I've asked for it, peoples. I've asked for it. I know how the Dota 2 community loves to talk. I have asked for it to be opened up. Hani, what do we got for him now? Just farming up. We've got Fly watching Koif. We do have a pull over towards the side. Just a couple of harpies over on the side. So there's a gank being set up on the top lane. Way too sexy. Frostbite, need a Grave Chill. Try and burn Trixie out. Body blocking him as well. And there's your Grave Chill. Slow him down and the Soul Assumption. Very simple, clean execution from Team Liquid on the top lane. TC did have to take a little bit more damage than he was probably really anticipating, but pops off the salve and picks up a Ring of Health. So he's fine for that anyway. And Fluff and stuff at level 3, he's already got that big damaging nuke. It's a lot of damage as well. Remember, when he hits level 7, that nuke goes up to about 500 points of damage. Bulba, look at Era. You know he kind of... he's already thrown out 1 Avalanche, so he's missing the 2-2 combo right now because he doesn't have mana for it. Then he brought a Magic Wand up instead. No-Tail's not looking too healthy, but then he bottles himself up. So No-Tail's actually running the bottle for the 2 of them, and they're toss spamming Bulba. Bottom lane, we're going to have an opportunity now. Hani into the Sting, Scream, and then while Kogsu come up, the Fly holds him there. He's going to be pushed back twice by the Cogs, but he's already got the Riptide. That battery is also not making this easy, but Hani will blink himself up into a better position, gets a Scream off, and with that burst damage, you know, just able to end up murdering that off lane. So both off laners going down. First Blood, of course, did go to that top laner, did go the way of Andy Mage. So he's feeling a lot better about himself. Having that bonus goal for getting the First Blood. Middle lane movement again. Era. This time he will be able to connect. He's trying to throw Bulba back down the hill so they can get that tether slow and then follow up with the extra damage. But it's not going to happen. And what it does do is keep Bulba away from the rune. So No-Tail's able to pick up the Invis rune. Bulba will say hello, but now he realizes he's not going to waste any time. Want to get straight back into that lane where Era is still farming up here. And Hani, are we going a straight up Skadi for him? It's a very uncommon item to get straight up here for a Queen of Pain, because especially when you look at this lineup up against an Anti-Mage, like you'd be looking to, wow, okay, maybe this could be your reason. He is just tanking out Koifa. He'll be burned back out of here. We'll pop the salve as well, but mana is kind of just as important to him. Having like a magic stick or something like that will be just as useful for him on this bottom lane. Koifa's going to come down a little bit closer, but he's going to go for another try because Fly's just around the corner. There goes your Cogs again, and actually holds the Naga away. He can still get the ensnare out, and he's trying to wait for it, but it's not really working out for Fly. He's not quite sure if he should do it now or later. Now he'll tank up that battery assault at level 3, and Koifa, he's always been an aggressive off-lane player, but he's managing to zone out both the Quap as well as the Queen of Pain. While Trixie tries to keep his top lane intact. Era and No-Tail farming up again. Remember that bottle? With the tether, you're able to heal up both of them. So Era as well as No-Tail, when they lose those life points, you just run the bottle back up again, you're all good to go. It means too, when you see Wisp at that low level, low life, it's not a bad thing. He's got to be injured before he can do the heal. We've got Treads up for Tiny now. So that answers our question on that one. No-Tail searching for the 6-minute rune, and again, he chooses right. It'll be the 6-minute haste rune up on the top lane. Meanwhile, up on top, Trixie. Caught out again. It's a horrible lane to try and go up against, and Clockwork's managed to get a kill. Ulti, not even used, to pick up the Naga Siren, who was checking out the bottom rune.
Top tower is under attack.
So rune goes the way of Fnatic, but they lose out in the long run. They lose the support on bottom, and again, they lose Trixie on the off lane. It's kind of a rough lane for him anyway, and they're investing more into this Tiny. Like, he got a decent attack speed through the treads, and now Avalanche, Bulba, tossed up in the air, but it's not enough damage to bring down Bulba. He pops the stick charges, goes in Dragon form, there's your Breathe Fire, and No-Tail, he's popping bottle charges, which is healing up Era, and that's what's keeping him in this. Ensnare will come, Fly though, Cannot really follow up, or maybe he can, because Trixie's here as well. The Sprout to go down, and already with the Riptide damage and negative armor, allows him to pick up the slightly overcommitted fluff and stuff. Bulba, when he turned for that one to Dragon Form, he had a lot of mana to spam out, and now he's completely barren. And way too sexy. The Crystal Maiden at level 4. She's got tremendous early game aggression. The issue she has is she can't commit as well as the rest of the Liquid team can. That's only a 1 level up in Dragon's Blood, but with the Breakthrough as well up on the DK, it's just one of those things where diving under him is just, you don't want to do it unless you got a lot of damage with you. And now Fly, he's too close. Clockwork's going to latch in. One quick Nova. But DK will in fact use his Breathe Fire as well after setting up with the Dragon Tail stun. Made for the easiest hook shot in for Koitva. So he'll rotate back down towards the bottom lane where Harley's been having a lot of space in their Perseverance. He is going to go first thing, Lincoln Sphere. Now middle lane. Whip! Prophet ulti. Bouncing through. Way to 60. Very low on life. No tells Rightly. He can't finish off the job. His 10 life points on that Crystal Maiden. And TC, he's blocking up Era. And Era doesn't want to be part of that. In fact, he throws TC back into the Scream of Hani, who managed to pick up Visage with that one too. Avalanche trying to stop him from getting in range of that regeneration rune. Bolted up to look for the timing for a Koifa. Cogs, now he can regenerate. If he throws out a good rocket too, he can't get a kill with it. But he pumps the regen anyway. No rocket spam with the regeneration rune. Kind of expected him to do that, but didn't. But way too sexy. Should consider himself insanely lucky he got himself out of that fight. As many pieces as he did. Shout out as well to Daitona, who ended up tweeting me out saying, true, a lot of the guys here are from League of Legends. For this game, for Fnatic versus Liquid, I'm going to keep it like real, normal broadcast, but I'm going to go a little bit more basics when we do our Korean team coming up next. And I'm not putting that as I'm underrating underrated. I'm just saying that normally when you look at a new team develop, when you look at a whole new, there's a lot more to pick at, which is the finer details. So, like the basics parts of Dota and the way they're approached. So we'll do that for our next 2 games. But for this one, we'll keep it real Dota, man. As far as approaching it. Now look at Hani. He wants to have a jump in. 2 points blink. Just shows you his level of aggression. You've only got the 1 point up in the Shadow Strike. That was just the early game harassment. Everything else goes into burst damage. Because he knows just burst damaging down Koitva is his only real chance to get the kill up on a rather tanky Clockwork. He's almost got 1,000 life points, and that's with basic boots in a bottle. It's a lot of life points to get through. Like, you look at someone like a Crystal Maiden, who's only got 606 life points. That's basically nothing. That is literally basically nothing when it comes to a Queen of Pain. At least Fly's gained some space on the top lane, but look at TC. 68 CS. You got a Wisp ulti. Okay, gank time. We're going to come in with a gank train. The toss will go. And now you see the reason why Wisp was feared so much. The funny thing is, though, and this is the reason why I said that if you're going to run the Wisp, it's got to come with a killing combination, as in with a CK or a Tiny. Because no tell that Tether, it no longer does a stun. It does 100% slow. Which means that any mage can blink out of that. With no real problems whatsoever. So because of that, they need to have a major stun. Bulba is just going so aggressive here. And with the familiar bursts that they're going to cancel the TPs. Prophet's coming in. Naga. Okay, there's just a walk in from behind. Era, tether stun. There goes your toss. Avalanche down as well. The spirit damage is not enough to kill off Bulba. And he wants to TP out of this one. They have enough damage? No, they don't. Crystal Maiden's also insanely low after all of this. But Bulba kind of felt that a little bit over-aggression. He knew what he wanted with Fly, but that's a supporter who's still at level 6. She only just triggered level 6 just before that fight too. So it was a little bit of saving grace coming out for that. So how's Fluff and stuff going? Medallion of Courage. So single target focus is what we're searching for from the Visage now. Popping that medallion. Having the negative armor. Of course it does affect you, brings you back so you don't even have that Medallion of Courage, but it does drop down your enemy. and you got someone like a Tiny who's only got 2 armor, you can kill him off very, very quickly. And they're going to smoke to move into this middle lane. And Era, he's basically by himself for the moment, but then again, you're never really alone when a Whisper's on the map, who is just stacking up a camp. So we've got 3 stacks over on that camp, on one of the harder camps. Bulba's also going to make his way down to the bottom and checking out for the 12-minute rune, but was already stolen by the Naga Siren, which was the regeneration. Hani, still getting a lot of farm down here, 60 for 28. So 28 denies up against this off lane, of course, with the recent changes, with the way the experience works. It's not that bad having Crystal Main down here. She still gets the 66% experience, even with a denied creep. But now we get a 12-minute 30 Battle Fury coming out from the Anti-Mage. So let the farm begin. It's the way we approach with the Anti-Mage. He still wants this tier 1 tower on the top lane, so there's no quick access for Fnatic to come into the jungle, because Fnatic with this lineup, what they want to do is have wards all the way inside. Like, main ward is to be here, and a secondary ward to be over here. And this lets them get, like, surgical attacks into the jungle with the Wisp relocate. Now look at Era. Mr. Drums, because he went the treads, he can bypass having to go the Yasha early on. Normally I like the Yasha because it does give you that attack speed, but more importantly, movement speed as well. But you've got the buff up with the Wisp. It's good, but still, if you had the Yasha, it's nice. But he's going to go with the point booster and then go straight into the Aghanim Scepter. And then they look towards towers, and also look towards top lane. There's that ensnare. Okay, it's off target. This gank won't work. Koip is also on the sidelines here. They weren't expecting. It's one of those things we got a projectile start hulking of coming towards middle lane. They know they're coming back. And it's just Notal. Notal actually sacrifices himself then. He could see Bulba moving into position to try and gank up on that one. It's possible that Tiny, when he came back, could have got that. Just a straight up avalanche. But it looks like they want to keep him on the top lane. Pushing out the tier 1 tower on the top. I talked about the fact that Anti-Mage wants to get rid of that tier 1 tower on the top lane. So do Fnatic. Clockwork going to latch in. Fly. He's got to go into ulti. He's got to go into ulti, but he'll die if he does it anyway. The battery assault damage being caught inside the cogs. It's just too much. Bulba came in too. There's a TP out by Era back at the secret shop. Or the side shop, I should say. And he goes back to farm up the middle lane. Bluff and stuff. You've got a couple of familiars coming in from him as well. Very difficult to fight up against a Visage, even when you are a carry. When you got those birds, which is so difficult to bring down, and then when they do drop, they stun you up, they come back up again, they come out with a vengeance. A huge amount of damage to come out from those familiars. You've just got to back yourself up. While Trixie, she's kind of like the ignored hero, you almost want to say, in this game. He's a guy that walks around as this nature's prop. He's going to again beat Bulba to the rune. Denies as opposed to going down. If he walked himself down into the river, then he'd be in a position where he can get ganked up. So he just denies it off, doesn't really feel like he needs the DD rune, which in a way it would help him with his jungle progression, but he doesn't require it. Koiva's at least getting himself some space, but look at his items. He's got treads, and that's basically it. Let's actually have a look through our net worth. And Clockwork, yeah, not as high up as I kind of thought he would be. Koiva's rotations, he even got like that early kill out in the Naga Siren. Thought he'd have a lot more than what he does. He's a long way behind Prophet. Of course, the Hand of Midas goes a long way to slowing all that down too. And see Trixie, he's tread switching up. He feels the Koiva's about to jump him. He knows the Koiva was down here. And if he tread switches himself into like, he's like just got enough to spawn up a new set of trees right now. Missing a couple of last hits there. Trixie may not be feeling a little bit comfortable. Already got the Oak Club. Another 2,000 gold. Well, not even 2,000 gold. 1,250. The ulti. There's your toss in. It's going to get that 100% slow. And then in with the spirits. It's going to bring him in. It's too late. Doesn't matter anyway. Regeneration room will go to Notal. He wants to tether and bottle once more. Looks like there's a little bit of trouble on the bottom lane. Clockwork able to catch out that Nature's Prophet finally.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So now we're 900 gold away for the Tiny. Top tower will go down here. TC. There's TP's coming in. They got to back up. Fly's the one to make his play. When the familiar birds here, they could just look to finish up the tower. But with Era and No-Tail coming in through the side, they don't want to run the risk of it. And the tower is in within deny range. That's why these birds are hovering around. And they're looking for the last attack. And, oh, deny. It does happen. He loses one of the familiars. Trying to be a quick resummon there by Fluff and stuff to try and make it so it wasn't going to happen. They get... No, yeah, I think that camp is probably as stacked as they're going to get it for now. But you know what it's there for. It's there for Era. An avalanche and toss, and they just work through the camp. That's the primary goal right now. Or is it? Actually, no, Harney's going to take it. He's screaming down a lot of it. That could have already been. It's because he wants his Lincoln Sphere. With the changes to Lincoln Sphere, maybe this is the reason why they're thinking about doing this safe lane co-op and then getting Lincoln Sphere first. Because when you have something like this, you can trigger the Lincoln Sphere over towards the Tiny. So you get Tiny jumping in with an Aghanim Scepter and the effect of a Lincoln Sphere. Which means you have a rather immune Tiny. And a rather big Tiny as well. He's already up to level 11, so we've got the second level up and grow up and running. And they're looking for a couple of familiars. They get one, and they're going to get two. Oh, yep, they get two. That's a big blow to Fluff. That's actually a huge blow to him. That's just under 2 minutes, and they don't have familiar stuns. And with the extra gold too, which was just claimed from Era, that's his full Aghanim Scepter. The Courier's got his Staff of Wizardry there. He'll pick up his Blade of Alacrity. Yep, there it is. So now we get an Aghanim Scepter build up for Era, which means he starts just picking trees out of the ground and beating down the towers. And when the Courier comes out to the bottom lane, that means Tier 1 and Tier 2 tower are basically sacrificed on the bottom for this. But they want kills first. That's why they're smoked up. Ensnare, Avalanche, Cogs do a very nice job, but then you just toss in the Naga Siren, trying to get close up to Way Too Sexy. Kind of makes it very difficult for the Cogs to work when you can toss heroes directly inside them. Walking out is always a bit of an issue, but not that bad. Courier still making a very, very long trek. The firing llama. But now it's got that movement speed. So, trees in hand for Era. Aghanim Scepter's up and running. The Arcane Brute's also here for Fly. So they've got mana spam too. I think he's waiting for the Wisp to come in and tether. No-Tail's keeping his distance here. Fly should just trigger these Brutes anyway and give Era the mana. Yep. So you got a Nature's Prophet and you got a very early Aghanim Scepter Tiny. And this also means global ganking with this. You see though the attack speed? With the Dreads it makes it okay. But normally, like, if you ever see a Tiny go Aghanim Scepter first, he doesn't attack this fast. It's the reason why you go for the Yasha. And you go into the Mana Star a little bit later on. And you just push down towers time and time again. And Necro Books, it really is. This whole patch is the season of Necro Books. Everybody wants a Necro unit. And with Nature's Prophet Hand of Minus, he can afford to do this kind of stuff. Necro Books, a very, very expensive item. One of those things you don't want to get caught building halfway through. You've got to try and get... You do have to finish up all three levels that Necro Book. But when you start taking out early towers, Necro Books become a lot more of like an option. Well, TC, you see him heading into that middle lane. They're going to go for Roshan now. No, they're looking for kills. Clockwork, it'll try to latch him, but looks like he bumped into Way Too Sexy. And Bobble with his Haste Rune, he'll be able to get this Dragon Tail stun off for No-Tail. And No-Tail, well, he may even use Oli to get himself out. This one, the Prophet Sprat, perfect. It holds Bulba back, and now Naga throws the ulti out. Coin Freeze at range. He doesn't have a way to jump in here. And look at Era. He's lining up for the triple avalanche, and with the Quap ulti as well. Now you see the effect of the burst damage coming out. It's a double kill coming the way of Harney. 3 heroes from Fnatic lost, and they were perfectly set up with the Naga Sleep. A reason why still, you cannot underestimate the Naga pickup. You want to be banning out things like Lifesteal up against Fnatic, and kind of rightly so, because you've still got the power of like a player like Era. Era is... He is one of the best Lifestealers in Europe. You don't want to deal with that. But now you also don't want to deal with a Tiny, who's got Yasha up and running, Aghanim Scepter, still got 3 drum charges available as well. You've got no Lincoln Sphere, actually. Harney, oh, I like this. I really, really like this. He disassembled his Perseverance, because he had, like, everything was leaning towards himself having the Lincoln Sphere. When you have an alternate orb as well as a Perseverance, it is just the recipe required and you have yourself a Lincoln Sphere. But what he did was, he disassembled his Perseverance, used the Void Stone out of that one, combined it up with his ultimate orb, and then picked up the Mystic Staff to get the Scythe of Ice. So now he has a sheep stick into this mix-up, which is great when you don't have a BKB over an anti-mage. Even if you do, it doesn't matter. Roshan will go the way of AM. So, free Roshan as Hani goes into his patented BTs. He's one of the few players that actually likes to go BTs first. But then you have this. Look at, just 3 hits of the creep wave goes down. This is the counter-pushing power too. Even if Liquid managed to get themselves a, that's really ballsy from TC when you think about it. If Prophet threw the ulti directly to him, he could have just triggered the Aegis. I lost my point. I lost my point when I saw him do that. Quote for now with a Blade Mail up and running. Sorry, I was just double checking a couple of things on my side. What we got coming out in the Courier? Just Bottle and TP Scroll. For a little fluffy bunny. Warding time as well. Both these teams, they like, you know what Liquid want to do right now? They just want to slow this game down. They know when Anti-Mage is able to have some space and just farm up, that he's capable of carrying this game to late. The downside right now for TC is that this guy right here is already dishing out too much damage that he can't deal with. The Mana Style of Fist becomes useless too because you get the cleave damage that comes out because of the Aghanim Scepter. As you can see here in the middle lane, just cleave down most of this creep wave. Luckily for the Familiars, going to be attacked directly, but unluckily for the Familiars, they're still a very, very damaging Tiny. Over 230 damage per hit. And now he's at the 2400. He's almost finished up his Mana Style. Hani's pushing out the top tier 2 tower. Rocket's going to slow him down. In fact, Hani's going to TP bottom lane. Naga's thrown out the sleep. And they've caught Koitfa. Wisbol is coming down as well. And they're going to want the Clockwork before he gets the Blade Mail off and running. Which he did do so, but he's still that era. Look at the heal coming out with the Urn Charge. It's not enough. It's not enough to keep the Tiny alive. They've got to buy him back if they want to have any chance of keeping this fight up and running. Bulba with that BKB. Trixie. Oh, he got stunned up. TC so low. And it's a triple kill for Fluff and Stuff. There's that big nuke I was talking about. 500 per pop. Hiding in the tree lines is Hani. He can't BT out for another 24 seconds. So not only do Liquid take that fight, and take it convincingly, but they get the Tiny to buy back when he was on his way to finishing up the Mana Style. What's even more brutal about that is with the changes to the buyback time, Era is now going to have a really bad time on his next death. Like, his buyback's on cooldown for 6 minutes. One problem. Second problem, he has half of the time, which he had to basically had to stay dead just then. Half of that time is now added to his next death timer. If he dies again, Liquid will have a chance to push through not only tier 1 and tier 2s, but probably even tier 3s. No telling he's not taking a little bit of this damage here from Era, even though he is buffing him up. Middle lane push now going to come in from Liquid, so look at the tier 1 tower in the middle. The Naga Illusions even tossing them into the Riptide. Koitva, for some reason, hook shot it into an illusion. And now they find TC. Hex going to be there. Hani, is he going to throw out the Sonic Wave for this one? TC blinks away. Hani never let the ulti rip. They're even split pushing right now with Trixie on the top. He landed them an ulti. He'll leave his level 3 Necro units behind with the army of trees to push that out. And that's going to require at least 2 heroes from Liquid to come up and defend that. TC going straight back to base. He still doesn't have his full BKB up and running. He's only 400 gold away from finishing it. At the same time as you saw him getting caught out then, if you get that Sight the Vice up before he gets the BKB up and running, then the BKB does nothing. That's why some people still prefer Lincoln Spheres, but the BKB, if you get it off, you're all good. And a 10-second BKB up against this Fnatic lineup, perfect. The only thing to hold you back is going to be the ensnare, or possibly keeping clear of the damage of Tiny, who is about to finish up his Mana Style. As now, he has the money for it. But it means, I say it means he has no buyback. He doesn't have a buyback anyway. It's on cooldown. Attempted to deny there by Hani, and look at TC. so aggressively blinking down to try and find him. At the same time, Era and Notal, this solo push and the push up of Trixie up in this top lane is more than powerful enough to bring down towers very quickly. Even that toss damage directly affects the towers. So fortification for the Dire side, slowing him down. A gets to be reclaimed in 56 seconds. TC's going to take the tier 2 tower as well. Trixie hasn't finished this tier 2 tower up on the top lane. And he has no bail. He's just going to TP scroll out of here. And, oh, TC! He shift-clicked it! He moved so quickly to do that. He TP's in range. So the Mana Void mini-stun cancels that TP scroll of Nature's Prophet. So they get the Prophet on the sideline. There is a buyback available, but you don't want to be using it at any point. Also, when you buy it back, your farm is restricted for that time of death. So you don't get the money when you buy back to farm. It doesn't work that way anymore. So a buyback is really, these days, never worth it. Unless you know you can get in there and get kills, because the reliable gold is still available. So if you get kills with it, you'll get that money. But if you try and farm up creep waves and stuff, it does absolutely nothing for you. So we're 28 minutes on the clock now. 13 to 11, Liquid with the advantage. I haven't brought this up kind of for a reason, because it doesn't really make much of a difference. The experience, there's not much in it. You have a 7,500 gold advantage going the way of Fnatic, but that's because the early towers they're able to bring down. And you see Liquid as they brought down the tier 1, tier 2 tower in the mid, they drag it back again. This game isn't about net worth. This game isn't about your experience gain as well. All this is about is getting your key items up and running and then winning on map control. You're going up against a split push lineup. You got Nature's Prophet, Wisp, and Tiny. Just those two heroes there make your life a living hell. Liquid must remove all out of towers for the best possible trade. And then look for that anti-mage to be at the point where he can tank up against the initial burst damage that comes out from both Quap as well as coming out from Tiny. Which means he basically requires a heart. And then on top of that, he then needs to be able to fight. So he needs a heart and a butterfly. And the time it's going to take TC to farm that one, because he obviously is farming at a very, very fast rate. Era's also finding a lot of CS. We've got 288 up against 225 right now. With the setup stacks as well for Era, then you're looking at some easy farm. It doesn't help when Trixie has all the lanes pushed out, because then Era can't only farm up inside the jungle. But he is cutting off Anti-Mage's supply, but Anti-Mage is just taking his. Look at those Dire Observer wards. They're all through. We got one watching, and one watching. They want to know at any time the Fnatic enter their own jungle. Which means TC is completely safe down here. Bulba, however, not safe on top. Scream, Avalanche, Toss, he's dead. And now move over to Way Too Sexy as well. Clockwork, he's still got a hook shot available, but there's no buyback coming out from Liquid. And now Trixie, he is caught. Hani, maybe, Koifa. It's a quick jump in there, was able to get that kill, but Era still fighting up, trying to clean up a lot of these illusions, which he's managed to successfully do so. Popping up that mana style didn't really help Liquid out there either. There was just too many to attack, and the fact they did have to drag Anti-Mage away from his farm isn't a great thing. And they lost DK and Crystal Maiden for the price of Nature's Prophet. Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I don't know if you can really call that a really fantastic trade. Especially when you know with the DK down, they don't really want to fight this. This TP's coming in. It's very over-aggressive from Koitfa. The tower is toast anyway. And he's lucky. Oh, no, he's not lucky. I thought he's lucky they didn't initiate, and then he cogs himself in with Era. And Era, well, gets stunned up quickly, but that's going to be it. Soul Assumption damage, Era doesn't care. Notal is so low on life. He needs to tether and heal them both up again, and now Naga will buy him the space to do so. The Familiars are out in the field too. Hani managed to snipe one of those off. Fly will turn the ulti off. And there's 3 Familiars up here from Fluff. Observers, sentries. They want to know what's going on here, and they're going to find Fluff. Avalanche, Toss, and Fluff is dead. They're picking up the Familiars as they go. Prophet TPing in, and now Wisp ulti is dragging them to the other side of the tree line. Best ulti of Notal's career. But they will find the Anti-Mage in the middle of it all as well. More Familiars getting sniped up. And the buyback has to come from the Anti-Mage, because you know the Fnatic want to push in. At the same time, Roshan, we're in counter timer for him. That random spawn moment Coming up in the next 1 minute and a bit. Yeah, Hani blinks. He's like, yeah, now it's a... Oh, wait, no. And still now with the Perseverance, this time it will be a Lincoln Sphere. Korea, recipe, yeah, exactly the amount of money which was spent is the price of that Lincoln Sphere. Coming the way of Hani in the mid. Gonna quickly bump up our camera again.
Regeneration.
Koiva. Really hasn't got much since he, like, we have 4-star Blade Mail. This is a very, very poor clockwork. Now you get Interceptor up on Visage. You got that BKB up on the Anti-Mage. But with that buyback, he's really been crippled. Not to mention, again, when he dies next, he'll still be crippled. We're still that bonus time set in there for Tiny next time he dies, but at this rate, Era, he probably won't. He can go into an Assault Cuirass next. It's another thing which gives you that attack speed because you use the Hyperstone for it, but more importantly, it's the armor changer. What lets him fight directly up against the DK, and you can see DK building exactly the same thing. Bulba just needs that Hyperstone as well, and he's good to go. Trixie's pushing out the top lane, Hani's in the neighborhood with the side the Vice BTs and Lincoln Sphere. He already wants to split push this out. You got 4 heroes that can globally move around the map. One tethered to a Wisp, you got BTs on the Quap, and then you got the TP of the global TP of Trixie, who's almost finished up his own side device. I say almost. That basically is it. Well, hello. What are we talking about? Era just needed a Hyperstone. Boom! He buys the entire Assault Cuirass. This is what's going to let him push inside the base too. Remember that Assault Cuirass affects the buildings as well. Alright, they're running up north now. They just want to break the base. Liquid are going to go in for Roshan, but they're going to lose a rank if they don't stop this right now. Yeah, they don't have time. The DPS of TC is not bad. He's got that revet. Like he's committing to this. He's going to commit to this. They're going to lose a tier 3 tower. There's fortifications. She's going to buy him that time. Fly. Oh wow. Oh, don't do it. Is he? Bulba? You know what Fly wants to do. He wants to check outside that pip. The same time TC, he TP's back, but he's going to die. 100 seconds on the sideline. And buyback not available, is still on cooldown. That could just be the decision that wins him this game. Era's looking for more. The toss in. Bulba will get a stun over on Era, but he's already just so big. Bulba will pop the BKB, but it's not going to stop him being ensnared, and Era from beating him down with a tree. They'll go in deeper over towards Fluff and stuff, and look at Era. Double kill for him. Trixie got the sprout and way to. Tosses in Trixie. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, that's not the plan, Stan. But the plan is to take the racks. With no Anti-Mage on the field, with no DK on the field, this game is over. They will take the full Raxing, all 3. You see the power of an Aghanim Scepter Tiny with just a couple of extra items. It's an Assault Cuirass as well as the Mana Style. And there's the GG call coming out from Liquid. So Fnatic will kick off their tour here. Oh, we're going base. We're going base. No one's going to die in that. But Fnatic kick off their Nexon Invitational Super Match Series with a victory so far. So that means they are still in the running for the full amount of money, the $15,000. If you go 4-0 in your 4 best-of-1 games, which you play out over the course of your 2 play days, it is $15,000 for you. As far as Liquid go, they have 1 loss their name, so they have a chance still at $10,000. That is still an option for them right now. They'll have to find it out for them, so we'll be back here in a couple of moments' time as we'll be coming back with Fnatic versus Team Liquid. Not Fnatic versus Team Liquid. Liquid will stay on